Hey amigos, how you guys doing? Thanks for stopping in. I'm just going to go ahead and cut to the chase. As you can see, I've got the Sportster, the 76, up on the rack. I had a little scenario with it last time I was on it. We had a local motorcycle event that happened a couple of weekends ago, and I thought to myself, well, that morning I got up, it was a Friday morning, and I wanted to, get this thing, freshened up. There was a few things I had to do, like fix the oil leak on the primary and adjust the chain. I decided to throw on a new brake light switch, and I took the points cover off and cleaned the points real good with some sandpaper, and then I got it rolled out the door, went to hit the electric start, dead battery. So since this thing has points in it, I utilized the Kickstarter. So after about 30 or 40 kicks, we got it fired up, got it good and running, and took off to the event. And I wanted to put it in the bike show, right? And I know this won't really win anything, but I'm pretty sure it would turn more heads from the onlookers than it would from the judges. I mean, because this will be the only bike there that's just like this. So here I am, I'm going down the road. It's running the best it's ever ran, ever since I cleaned the points, I imagine. And I rolled up to the gate, got my ticket. I rolled into the gate, me being all vain, thinking I've got the coolest freaking motorcycle here. Nobody in this area knows anything about something like this. I'm going to have the most, bestest, awesomest motorcycle in this local event. And then I turn another corner, and then pop, there goes the clutch cable. Yep, I busted the cable, as you can see. So I just let it roll to a stop, got off the bike, walked around, talked to folks, and then I decided that I'm just not in the mood to be looking silly with a truck and trailer to come rescue me, right? Because I was the only one that knew the clutch cable broke. So how am I going to play this off? Well, what I did, I fired up the bike, it was in neutral, and I straddled the bike and got it rolling a little bit, hit it in first, and it didn't die, and we just took off, and it was quite the adventure. I'd never done that before, so I just went home with no clutch. Speed shifted through the gears. I know the transmission was hating me, the chain was hating me, because when I would downshift, I could hear the tire squealing on the road with a little chirp. So anyway, so I said all that to say this. The new clutch cable came in. I'm going to get it put on. Okay, it's another day, and I didn't really film me pulling the clutch cable out because I figured I'd just go ahead and film me putting the clutch cable in. And if you want to know how to pull a clutch cable out of an Ironhead Sportster, it is the opposite of putting it in. But what I have done off camera, I've cleaned my surfaces, on my primary cover and also on the engine case. Just got the excess silicone off of it, and also cleaned it off with some brake cleaner. So without any blah 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 like I'm so good at doing, I'm gonna go ahead and get this in here. Okay, my clutch cable, push it through this little hole right here, and then I'm gonna run this adjustment all the way down. Okay, got the clutch cable into the primary cover, and I hope it came out clear enough to see how to connect the end of the the cable to the throwout bearing thingy. But anyway, check it out. I got my gasket. I put some of that sealant on there. So anyway, but I think oh crap, I put the silicone on the wrong side. How do you like that? Initially I wanted to silicone the other side and have it stuck onto the engine case while I Well, I guess I better improvise. This really is some good stuff, guys. And no, I'm not sponsored, but if you really want some good sealant and you're going to use it on your motorcycle, this is some good stuff. It goes on, it seals perfectly, and also it comes off real easy too whenever you got to change a gasket. Okay, this is several days later. As you can see, I'm a little more unshaven and a little more unpretty. So, where did I leave off? Oh yeah, I have the adjuster screw in there as far as adjusting your clutch down here in the primary and along with that nut. So let me show you what I do, and sometimes what I do isn't always right because I kind of forget to do it the right way, but let's see if what I do is going to work. Okay, I'm going to take my flathead screwdriver and I'm going to run it all the way down like that until I can barely feel it touch off. And it kind of feels like it's barely touching off, but sometimes these things are a little tricky, like it can give you a false reading. So what I like to do is turn it some more and back off, turn it some more and back off, turn it some more and back off. I guess I'm right there, so I feel it touch right there, and I'm going to back it off a quarter of a turn or maybe an eighth. Then I'm going to take my spark plug socket and run my screwdriver through it like that, do like that, do like that. I'm going to hold my screwdriver. I don't know what size hex that is, but I'm going to take my crescent wrench and I'm going to torque the nut down like that while holding the screwdriver so that the screw doesn't turn itself. Alright, now that's good and tight. Alright, now that that's done, I've got my clutch handle pulled all the way to the handlebar and making my cable pulled all the way out. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this piece all the way out this way, so eventually it's going to pull all the slack out of this handle, and then I'll make my adjustment there, which is like you know, I don't know, you guys will see what happens. Okay, I think I almost got it to where I want it. So far it feels like a clutch. Alright, that's working pretty good. And I think I want probably about an eighth of an inch, not quite a quarter, maybe a little less than an eighth of slack, you know, between the cable and the handle. And I can't really see from here, but it looks like it can come out. It looks like it can be adjusted a little bit more, so I can do it by hand right here. So, alright, has a little slack there, but I think that's perfect. Yep, that's perfect. Oh yeah, that is perfect. So what I'm going to do next, run this lock nut down like this, take my 7/16 and my 1/2 inch and hold this while I tighten this. Oh, you know what, I think that feels like a metric nut. This is aftermarket. Yeah, maybe I better go find a 13 millimeter or a 12 millimeter. Kind of weird, this being 7/16 and this being well, then again an 11 millimeter is almost an exact match to a 7/16. So I'm going to use my 7/16/11 millimeter and my 12 millimeter wrench, which I hate metric, by the way. It's just un-American, you know, but never mind politics, the heck with it. This is motorcycles, right? You get into motorcycles because the world sucks, so you just get on your bike and say, the heck with it, I'm going somewhere, and forget the world, you know, FTW. That means forget the world, right? Or forever two wheels. Try to keep it innocent, you know. Alright, it's in there. Being as that whenever that clutch cable broke and I had to come home with no clutch and I had no other choice, well, I did have a choice. I could have had somebody come pick me up, but that would have been embarrassing, you know. I had to save the ego a little bit. But being that was true, that chain didn't like that very much. As you can see, there's a whole lot more slop in there than what I want. It's not that bad. I think that's the tight spot right there because it was looser earlier than that. And I know the chain's in good shape because I can pull on this and it hardly even moves an eighth of an inch. So the chain's good. So I know it's not bad. In fact, this was a brand new chain when I put the bike together, so who the heck ever put enough miles on an Ironhead Sportster to make the chain go bad anyway, right? Anyway, but I'm going to spare you those details. It's not rocket science to adjust the chain. You just rotate the wheel until you get to the tight spot of your chain and you adjust it there. You want about a 1/2 inch of play, you know, which that's about 3/4 maybe. So I'm going to get that out of there, and then we'll see how well it does on the road. Okay, let's see if I have enough juice in the battery in this thing, because the battery's kind of old, and hopefully I don't have to kick it, because I don't really feel like it. Alright, turn the gas on, turn the ignition on, pop the choke, let's see what happens. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna get my workout for the day. Oh, gee whiz. Come on. Oh, she tried. Oh, come on, you can do it. Oh, come on. Why the... Oh, gee whiz. If I just hold the throttle open. Oh, I heard something. All right. Let's see. Okay. That's one benefit to having points. As I'm trying to talk to you while I'm out of breath, when you got a low battery, when you got points, all you need is just the littlest bit of juice. I guess a new battery is in order. I pretty much have to do this to make it warm up, because I don't really trust it to idle by itself without dying when it's not warmed up. Cylinders are still cold. I wonder if I can set the throttle lock. Oh, there it goes. Like I said in a previous video, if I was riding this thing on a regular basis, it would probably warm up a lot faster or a lot better. Cylinders are warm. I know it doesn't take long for these cast iron engines to get hot. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to get some gas too. Alright, that's enough blah 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 blah. Yeah, much better. I guess my old clutch was just harder to pull because it was just old. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was the original clutch cable, because when I tore this engine apart, the top end, the cylinders still had the cross hatching on them. The pistons said STD on the top, means they were standard bore. So I wouldn't doubt that that might have been the original clutch cable. And this thing runs so good. Oh yeah, don't forget, Corey, left-hand brake, not right-hand brake. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to need gas, so I'm going to stop here and get some gas. I normally wouldn't stop here because the new ownership has kind of attracted a questionable clientele with the new product that they're pushing over here. But I don't think I have much of a choice. Now, this guy's in my way. Are you getting gas? Okay. Okay, I've got gas. Probably more water than gas, given the nature of these gas stations have been bought up by some foreigners. And anyway, I hope it ran good enough to get a charge on the battery so I can use my electric start. Let's see if we get lucky. All right, let's try this again. Come on. Alright. I guess I gotta go a little further to get that charge. It does have a cycle electric generator on there and regulator. It's brand new. Let's see how good of a job it does. What was that? It's like it hesitated for a second. Oh shoot. What are you doing? Oh. Stupid me. I thought I turned my gas off when I stopped there, so when I went to turn it back on, all I did was turn my gas off. Okay. Well, anyway, I have to say, there's always something that happens every time I ride this bike, but it's usually when it's off camera. you know? So this time I've got the camera going. Maybe it'll be my good luck charm that I make it to point A and B and back. Yeah, the clutch feels a whole lot better. Maybe this one will last a lot longer, obviously, because it's brand new. I really don't want to jinx it and say, okay, I wonder what's next. But it is an Ironhead Sportster, and it's a motorcycle I put together, so I'm sure I forgot something important. It is what it is. But yeah, back on this thing again. We'll see if it leaks. I don't think it's leaking. It sat for a little bit before I got on it, and the primary wasn't leaking. I did forget to check the oil though. I need to be a little more mindful of that, because I found out that these old machines, Ironheads and shovel heads and all them heads, whether they're leaking or not, you're going to lose oil. They're going to use it in some kind of way, whether they're smoking it off or not. One time I filled this thing up with oil, and it's not burning oil, not that I know of, and really not leaking it. You know, I rode it and rode it and rode it, and then I checked the oil several miles later and saw that it had receded like a quarter of a tank. I mean, this motorcycle is, I don't want to call it the bee's knees, because as soon as I say something like that, something's going to happen. Like one time, and I wasn't recording, I was going down the road just having a good old time, and something told me to look down as I was getting into the turning lane to turn on my street, and I looked down just in time to see my shifter just go whoo and jump off. So I had to park the bike, walk down the highway, see if I can find it, and I eventually found it, but I wasn't recording. I didn't have my camera with me. And another moment, I'm leaving work, and suddenly it starts running on one cylinder. I'm like, what's going on here? And I look down, and the spark plug wire was dangling, fell off the spark plug. While I'm moving down the road, I'm trying to grab the spark plug wire and then put it back on while I'm running, and I got shocked a couple of times. So I said, okay, fine, I'll pull over, shut the bike off. What's another one? Oh yeah, I was leaving the gas station, and I heard one heck of a noise going on down below. And I look and I see my kickstand is dragging on the road, shooting sparks out and everything. And I'm like, golly. I said, all this crazy stuff happens when I'm not filming. Not that I want anything to happen right now, because that would kind of, you know, sure is nice to know that I'm not going to break my clutch cable when I pull it in now. And I tell you what, I have no idea how old the clutch cable is on the shovel head, but I just ordered a new one, and I'm just going to change that thing for good measure, because I don't want that happening to me on the shovel, because nothing sucks more than a broken clutch cable when you're somewhere else. Especially when you're in front of a bunch of bikers and you're trying to look cool. I mean, that would have made a great video, because like I said earlier, I had to go home with no clutch cable, because I sure wasn't going to call anybody to come get me in front of all those people. I just wanted to just go out with my ego still intact. You know what I mean? Too bad that it broke on me at that bike event. So I really wanted to put it in the bike show, like I was saying earlier. I know it won't win any awards, but it definitely will turn more heads from onlookers, and it will get more attention from the public than it will from the judges. That's the kind of motorcycle I like to build, if I were to build one. A bike that's meant to be ridden, but yet it's so unique and individualistic in and of itself that it really needs no extra chrome, it needs no whatever. It's just a bike that totally gets more attention than a $50,000 motorcycle that's sitting next to it. Ask me how I know. But anyway, until the next saga, you guys keep the rubber side down, and you be good to yourself. Thanks a lot.